Hi Darshan, welcome to our
Hi,
show.
Manjula.
Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Right. Dear viewers, thanks for joining us. And we are just to receive some more people as well. But while we are just getting more people joining our session, let me take a time to just introduce Darshan. So, Darshan is the fond of our friend. More than the friend, he is also coming with 18 plus years of experience in the testing. So, that's the beauty of because in our community, many of us are from the testing background and they were looking for guidance for testing area. How do we go up? Darshan, you have to just mute your sound background and yeah, fine. It's okay. Thank you. So Darshan comes with 18 years of experience and he worked in the companies like TCS and he has running his organization for close to 7 plus years. It is a big learning from him and recently they were also part of the Alexa hackathon where they were just trying to do the voice testing through the Alexa. So lot of new things he is introducing for the testing expertise. How do we just get into the client part of it? Thanks, Darshan. Thanks for being with us. And let us just start from your to tell us something about you.
As you have already told, Manjula, I have around 18 years of experience. First 10 years was the corporate experience with TCS, and with a lot of running around with banks and all. And then last 7-8 years, we are running our own show. It's called Valida Testing Solutions, and mainly we focus on providing testing service for companies. So that
Awesome.
is the brief background what we do. Many people think testing is a boring job, but trust me, it is the most interesting job if you know how to make it interesting.
Absolutely. So, as you rightly said, developers and testing, it's like rivals where they talk about it. But ideally, if you look at that, the domain knowledge and the capability coming from testers. So, that's the reality. So, that's the beauty of it.
You don't have to be rivals. It is how you can communicate the defects or the issues which we find. It is generally what happens is people take it on ego when you find something wrong in what they have developed. So what you need to be aware is how you communicate. So if you communicate saying that together we are making the product better, then you can be better pals because somebody is protecting you in front of the customer before somebody else points finger at you.
Absolutely. So that's the spirit of it. It is just like being a pal and then trying to take care of a client's interest, but it has been perceived in a different way. That's it all about. So good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
There is no wonder it's been a dogs and cat fight, but I hope someday it will change.
it is changing, in fact. So that's the paradigm shift. Also, we are seeing that finally we are deciding this is a career we have just come and then taken it. It's just not against the person. So we are just seeing a change as well here. And so let's just start with a couple of basic stuff, and probably I will take you to our community members to the questions what they've asked for it. So the first and foremost question, as people are asking about it, how is the testing has been evolved? I know we have just started from the manual testing. Now that things have been changed a lot about it. So what are the trends you see in the market, Darshan?
See, generally, when you take testing as a career, you have three choices. Okay, most of us will start as a manual testing person because the fundamental of testing is your observation skills, your ability to find what others have missed out. So, you start with manual tester. You learn the skills over a couple of years, and then you are having a choice. You can have a choice to become a test lead, or you can be an automation person, or you can be a domain expert. These are the three career choices which people should be aware of. Each has its own beauty, and each has its own pros and cons. So you need to be aware. So if you take manual tester and if you become a lead, it is more of people management and your ability to plan the activity properly, and how do you manage 20 25 odd people or something like that. So that is your first path. The second path is you try to become more technical. If you have a flair for development and all, so you can take automation path. Automation and development go hand in hand, because you need to know the ability of scripting and logic to be able to make a career in automation. Not many have have that ability. So know your strengths, then you can actually think of whether automation is the right path. The most ignored path is generally the domain path. So, for example, if you want to stick with a particular domain, it's a very good choice, because if you see, most developer know only a small bit of information, which is about either their own module, or it can be more on multiple modules. Okay, but as a tester, you have the ability to learn the whole application. That means you're gaining domain knowledge. What is the do's, what is the don'ts? You're talking with domain people to understand how the business is actually using the software, and all those things. So you start gaining the knowledge. So unfortunately, in the current trend, what is happening in the market is people are switching from one domain to another domain, without really considering the impact. For example, if you go to a e-commerce company, who would they hire? They would definitely hire somebody who has already worked on e-commerce, rather than a normal testing guy. There is not much of a difference, but the knowledge of the domain, the same language, same words and all, makes a huge difference when you are building the career. So these are the three choices which people need to be aware, and probably we can explore each one of them as they go along.
Perfect. So, with that, I would like to get into the second part of the question. Now, people have just taken a break, right? And what is the new trends where they can just look into that to start their career back?
See, taking a break is fantastic. Unfortunately, in India, what happens is, once you take a break and the break is bit longer, they consider it in a negative way. But abroad, it is not considered like that. But then we need to understand from their point of view also. Companies see the technologies are changing, domains are changing, new things are coming up. A blockchain is new, voice is new. So, how do you keep up with the new trends? For example, one of the live example I was talking to yesterday was a person who had around 6 7 years of mainframe could not adjust himself for the new testing way. So what happens is, the people other side feel you are not adapting to the new technology. So you need to break that mold. So how do you do that? You either join startups, or this will or a company for 1 year, where you build up your skill set. I always keep telling, even if you are not taking a break, the developing of the skill set, or upgrading your skills, is the most key thing. So you need to put a lot of effort to develop it, and uh, practicing it on theory is okay, but practicing on a project gives you a lot more knowledge on how the new technologies are evolving. Okay. For example, if I take big data, right, or if you can then take a simple example of reporting. If I have to test a reporting, the simple thing is, you'll go to and log into an application, go to a particular month and see what is the data. The steps does not change. What changes is the data within it makes a huge difference in the way the report is perceived. If it is a bank statement,
Hello, Darshan, I'm
Hello,
here.
Manila.
We are here. We are here. Just go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I thought I lost you. The
No,
report, if it is only credits, right? So that is a different test data, and if it is credit and debit, it is a different test data. So the data plays an important role. So each domain comes with its own challenge. So adapting to the new technology, new domain makes you much more employable. So I would suggest invest in yourself for at least 6 months to 1 year. Go and understand which is a domain which you would want to build your career, and then go and work with companies as startups or somebody who would be willing to explore and give you a chance, because that is where you learn the new tricks. And then once you've learned it, and then going to a bigger company is much more comfortable and easier. Not that you don't have, you have to change, but then if that is the path you want to take, then it becomes a easier option.
absolutely. So that's the right approach as well, Darshan. We also say the same thing to our community members. Build your skill. So unless you build your skill, corporates are hesitant to take you back. Right. So the startup is a good way to just kickstart. And while we are talking about, there are questions coming from our community saying that I have 9+ years of, this is from Jyotsna. I have 9+ years of experience in manual testing. Are there any opening currently in the company? So that's the one question. And followed by that is there a payment return back program in your company? So we will address in a two part. The first is, if the people are from the manual testing, how can they refresh themselves and come back? Tell us some resources for that.
See the manual testing. See, I have courses which are there in specifically. You need to divide it into a couple of sections. One is the techniques and technologies for writing scenarios and conditions. If they have already done 9 years, probably they need to just refresh it. Guru 99 is a good place where you will get, but they will treat you as a fresher. So that means you are refreshing your content of testing. The second one is, you need to understand each domain has its own challenge. So are you also equipping yourself in the particular domain? Okay, so don't be in a hurry to apply everywhere and anywhere, because that means you will not be able to get it. Pick a domain and learn about the domain, and then show that you are adapting. Even though you're not worked, you know a lot more in the domain. That gives the guy who's hiring a lot more confidence that I will be able to teach this person, and I will be able to mold this to my current need. They will never
Excellent.
express what is the current need. It is only that they will see whether you can fit into that role or not. So probably what I would suggest is, first pick the basic refresher course and then go to the domain. So if you can do that, that will be a good start point. Guru
In
99, Coursera, and all those are very good start points. There are a lot of courses which are free, and you will be able to do it. And probably you should try to test out your skills on dummy websites. There are a lot of dummy websites, so which you can try and test out for that. We can also provide a link which has around lot of defects, and you can try out and see whether you are able to actually find those defects.
perfect. Superb. So I think that's another good point where people have to refresh themselves and then try themselves before going to that. And the second point I liked about is, don't attempt to go everywhere and then apply, and then see they are not taking it up. So choose 3 to 5 companies and go behind them, talk to them, sit with them, and connect with them often. It's just not the money matters here; it's about the skill matters for you. So as long as we are able to get that, that would be good. So following the question where we are able to see that is there any return back to women's program available in your organization? So I would like to take this question on behalf of Darshan to tell you about it, because I do know Darshan has this kind of a program. It's not that he doesn't have it; he has. and wholeheartedly he is trying to connect his entire startup community, not only his organization. He also connected with a wealth of organization where he can just connect you and then take it forward. The only one ask from them or even for any startup is it cannot be done in a month's time. So you need to be able to dedicate yourself for at least 2 to 3 months to get the basic details about it and show your commitment as you rightly said about that. If that you're available for that part of it, then most of the startup, it need not be Darshan. Darshan is always welcoming us to just connect with our community. But any of the startup, if you go and just connect with it, they should be able to help us. And feel free to connect with us as well. We would be able to take you to the different organizations. Darshan, over to you. Now you can take it up.
See, what you need to understand is what is your strength. Okay, as an experienced person, what is your strength when compared to? See, the cost is one of the main criteria when people try to hire. Okay, so when a person who's already experienced and comes back saying, "Can I get a chance?" What is your strength? I would prefer that your maturity and your commitment level is your strength when compared to fresher. Okay, so what happens in the world is that people want to cut cost, but then they also don't want to compromise on the quality and the commitment level which is there. So what happens generally is most of the freshers don't understand the seriousness of the delivering quality thing at the given time. So that is your strength. So I think most of the people who are not coming back, who are trying to come back are not concentrating on their strength. That is the commitment and the follow up and the taking the responsibility and ownership. If you can highlight that and bring that as one of your strength and then say that, hey, I know I have taken a break, but then I have this experience and I can own whole lot of things for you, and I can reduce your headache. That's a powerful statement. I'm not sure why people who are coming back are not making that statement, because I don't see, not necessarily every company will have an immediate opening, but then if you show that commitment, they are willing to make that position for you, because getting the right resource at a level where I heard 9 years experience, right? So that level of people are not available at the right cost for startups. Okay, so you need to use that for your advantage and get back to the work. Hope that
Absolutely.
makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense actually. So it's about there is a one more question similar to that line Indra is just asking about. I have 9 years experience in the design, development, and testing, and complete software support. Took a long break of 17 years and did a postgraduate diploma in data analytics. Is it possible to get into a suitable role? What is your advice? I am 52 years. For me, meaningful engagement model is goal. So, would you like to
Um,
pick it up, or I'll go ahead?
no, I would love to pick it up, because see, for us, again, the same thing comes into picture. She's talking about the latest technology, and she is eager to work, and then there is always that responsibility factor which comes with having done that before. So all these adds as in plus point. It's just that how you package it and how you tell the company, see, I have done it before, I know how to do it. It's just that I need a little bit of time to get it going again. It makes sense, and uh, probably everybody else says age is a factor, but I don't think so, because for us, it depends on how you position it. If I get a person senior, I can put it as a manager somewhere, and people will respect that, because they feel there is a somebody who are at their level and they can talk to, and that the other person will understand. Most of the time, the people who are in the testing level don't understand the expectation from the client. That's the key part. So that is a role which you can easily fit into, is what I feel.
True. as you rightly said, Darshan, it is about how do you prepare yourself, how do you approach number one, and number two here again, just go back and then be with them to learn and showcase. The moment they just see your experience and your commitment, then people, even if they don't have a position, they will try to figure it out how else they can create it to hold you. So that's the beauty of it. So connect to any of the startup and then be with them for 3 months or 6 months, whatever is the month. Since you have taken a 17 years of a break, getting back to that and being with them for 6 months to 1 year should be ideally good for you to just learn a lot because new things in the industry, and then that will open up the lots of openings for you to, with the other companies as well.
So
Right.
adding to that, you also need to invest on your skill grade, right? Most of the people think going to a training center is a better option than working with as an intern or as a hands-on person in a startup. I beg to differ that because in training centers they mostly will tell you about what was relevant maybe 5-6 years back, and when you do hands-on you're relevant now, so that is not replaceable. So probably you need to think time is also an investment you need to do on yourself to come back to this one. Going to a training center is one of the option, but another option which is good is joining a startup. Is I feel it as a this one. It sounds like a cliche that you have to join for a lower salary. That is not the right thing. But then when you compare the amount you are spending on the training center, I think this is much more worthwhile. Is what I would feel. It's my personal opinion. I know there is going to be a debate on that, but then I'll leave it at that.
It's not the personal opinion. It's generally the corporate or even the other employers would like to see them having a hands-on experience more than the training experience. So what you are saying is relevant, Darshan. That's how the industry looks for. Even in the interview, people would love to hear, what did you do? That's the first question they would be asking, right? Including the bigger clients when we work with them. The first question for the candidate is, what did you do during the break? So, doing the training, and more than that, the next level is, I was working with ABC. It could be for a community, it could be for a cause, it could be as a pro bono, anything. But then showcasing, I am doing this right now, it adds a more value rather than I'm on the break.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Right, so that's the
And
right thing. Go ahead,
and
Darshan.
it should be relevant to the job description. If you are saying I'm interested in testing, they would. I mean, my first question is, what is the last application you tested? If you say I didn't have an application to test, I'm sorry, but in this day and age, you have Facebook, you have WhatsApp, you have lots of free application which you can test it. You are one of the users, so you can test it out. So you can write the plan. You can say I have tested this, even though it is a free application, I have tested it and I found 5 critical issues. That gives the employees much more confidence. You
Right,
don't have to
exactly.
wait for a company to assign you a task. That's what I meant.
Valid point, Darshan. That's the crux of the story. We don't need to wait for company to just do that. We can just keep spending an hour or two in a day's time to hone our skill. That's all it's all about. So when you are just doing, when you connect with the corporate or even the startup, they would love to hear and then say, why don't you do this for me? That is the opportunity they are creating for themselves. So when they just get that, and then that turns out to be a job for them, saying that now I'm happy, why don't we start as a commercial engagement?
Yes. And to be very frank with you, I would rather hire somebody who I have worked with and I'm comfortable rather than going out and finding a new person. On paper, they might look better, but I know this person, what are the strengths and what are the weakness, and I'm willing to put more effort to improve this current person rather than a person I don't know.
Perfect. Yeah. So
And
there's other two
especially when it
questions. Yeah.
becomes sorry Manjula, when
No, go ahead.
especially when we are exposing it to customer side, right? So it becomes even more crucial for me to understand the nature of the person before I expose. That also adds to the key point. So you need to be aware that there are a lot more things which are happening in the background than just you and your skill set. So if you are able to position and if you are able to empathize with the companies and put yourself in that shoes, you have a much better opportunity to get the dream job you are looking for.
Awesome. Right. So there's other two questions are coming up. Let's just go through that. This is from Shraddha. I have a 5 years experience in manual testing and Selenium. I have a 5 year career gap. There are many tools in automation testing now. Can I try applying for Selenium? Some of the answer he has covered, but over to you, Darshan.
See, again, people think automation as a salary hike opportunity. Okay, it's not really that. So you can, as I told you before, there are three ways you can do. You can do manual and become a project lead. You can become manual and automation, and you can become a domain expert. So I'm assuming you have selected Selenium because you are passionate towards automation and not just because that's also a good thing to have in the CV. Okay, so what I have observed is I have been in automation industry for almost 17, 16 years now. Okay, the tools have changed. The basic concept has not changed. The front end automation basic concepts have not changed. So there are three important things in front end automation: the flow, the object identification, and the data. These three has not changed for front end. Yeah, that it was Windrunner, now then QTP, now Selenium. There are lots of tools in the market, but the concept has not changed. So when you say I know Selenium, I'm assuming it's not just the language. You know the fundamentals of oops concepts. You know the fundamentals of how to structure automation. See, when you are doing automation, it's a five-step process. First, understand the requirement, group it so that you know how many scripts have to be done, bifurcate the data out of the scripts and the flow, and then you actually decide which is the best tool to have. So unfortunately, if you go to training institutes, they teach you the tool first and then the process. Okay, so the process does not change for automation, only the tool changes. Okay, so if you are good at the process and the tool, it's an added advantage. So based on the requirements I'm hearing, there is definitely a need for Selenium automation guys in the market. And if you are really good, so you need to evaluate yourself. It can't be that see, the expectation is simple. 0 to 2 years I'm okay with. He says I know Selenium, I'm fine with that because I know I can teach him. But more than that, I have worked on Selenium on for more than 2 years. I expect him to be able to give me the flow, able to understand the requirement and be able to automate it. So it is the expectation you need to set. You can't say I have 5 years of experience in Selenium and then say that I only know the basics of Selenium. That will not get you a job. So it is on what level you want to play yourself. You can always say I have 4 years of experience in manual testing. I know the basics of Selenium. That still sets the expectation that you are a 0 to 2 year automation person, not really 5 years automation person. I'm not discrediting your experience. I'm just telling for the current automation requirement, your relevant experience is just 1 to 2 years. So you need to place yourself in that the way the other people will look into.
Right. Good. Thanks, Darshan. That was a good thoughts for knowing about how do we come back. So similar to that, there's a question from Ramya, where I have 7 years of experience in Oracle ERP domain and having 2 years break. Is it advisable to shift career to testing for more opportunities? If yes, any idea how to proceed?
Again, your strength is your domain experience. So if you have been a developer, and in the 7 years you have learned a lot about ERP. Is it a custom ERP or is it some product of a known company? Makes a difference. Okay, if it is custom ERP, then you need to shortlist companies who are doing ERP implementations. There are two kinds of companies. One is product companies who are building ERPs, and then there are implementation partners who are doing lot of changes in the ERP to suit a customer need. So both will need testing, but it's up to you where you want to place, because the domain knowledge is where I think you will play a key role. And then if you can learn basic testing skills and you want to get into that, that would be a good start. So you need to be shortlisting only ERP companies and implementation partners who do lot of implementation, because that is where people find your match of testing and domain knowledge very useful.
Okay. So just to add a comment on what Darshan has said, we are coming up with a program with a lot of cloud applications. So for development and testing part of it, but if anyone is taking a break, wanted to give a heads up and then take a hands-on experience, connect with us, help desk at heartsecondinnings.com or support at heartsecondinnings.com, and you would also see that JD available in the our portal. You can also apply on the same. So we are trying to bring the exposure for creating a development and the testing experience. So this would be another platform where you can try it out. Good. So the last question from Naya, who's that? Nayana Raghu. I'm having 3 years of experience in Java and took a break for 5 years. How can I start career in testing? Is that good to do course on Selenium? So again, you answered. Maybe at some pointers you can touch base, Darshan.
Again, my choice would be that because I think she's coming from a development background, so testing mindset is where I think she will be lacking. So I would prefer she starting with manual testing and then jumping to automation. I know she has that flair for development, but then I would still say get to know what manual tester think and how do they do the testing, because the developer mindset is completely different and tester mindset is completely different. Developer will cover three scenarios and they'll say it's working fine, but on the contrary, tester will cover around 50 60, same for the same functionality will cover positive and negative. So are you even thinking from that point? If you are still thinking from developer point where you say three is good enough, then the mind shift has to happen first, and then you can think of whether you want to go manual or automation. The choice should be automation because you already have a flair for developing.
Development.
Yeah, but then and you need to understand there is a completely shift in the way manual testers think and work. So automation is just helping manual tester achieve their goals. So unless you understand what it is, it will be very difficult for you. So I would prefer you spend at least 6 months doing manual testing, and then it will be much more easy for you to pick up Selenium or any other thing to brush up your skills.
I think that is a good thought where many of the people are having a thought whether from development should I come to a testing role. So the clear idea is the mind shift has to happen before even just getting into that, and also trying with the manual testing, starting from that as a starting point to understand whether we like it or not, and then that will show us being as a developer, getting back to your automation is the right path. Wonderful way of putting that across, Darshan, for our community members. Thank you so much. So, is there anything you would like to share, a final reference or a context resources for our community members to do beyond the what you call Guru 99 and Udemy, Coursera, etc. Do you find some of the relevant resources for our community?
I think, to be very frank with you, all these online courses are very, very detailed, much more than any of the offline courses will tell you. It's just that the confidence building needs to happen much more, and then it needs to happen. And what I would suggest is, yes, you have taken a break, but then no need to stress it so much, because most of the questions where I have a break, I have a break, we understand that. Okay, so probably you need to shift the mindset from what the other person is looking, and then if you work on that, I think you have a better chance. That is my
Absolutely.
suggestion.
Right, absolutely. And there are, if you are looking for resources, we have also flashed a couple of skill gap online resources available. You can just go through that, number one. And somebody comes from the break, right? They wanted to understand how much you have gained and where are your strengths and weakness. We do have an assessment platform. You can pick up the assessment and then understand your score, where you are. As Darshan rightly pointed out, there are two things we are talking about. As training is going to be only the level one, which is going to be a base for you to know about it. But the real value would be trying your hands in some company. It could be startup or a corporate retention program, anything, wherever you get that. And on top of it, being in the testing, as Darshan has put it across rightly, you have an application. You are a user. You can start anywhere. You don't need the company to assign the task to you. So you can create that sitting at your home. Okay, this is the two or three websites I'm going to test, and then create it. And best thing is post it in their portal. They will love to hear, and they will just go and connect with the company. They'll say, oh my god, so this is what is the beauty of it, and I would like to just find out how else we can strengthen our product. So that's another way of just looking at that, figuring it out how else you can create a credibility on your skill part of it. So this three ways is a sure shot where you can try it out. Either just decide the passion and look at that way to strengthen yourself through the training, but the training is not going to enough, and you need to gain your skills part of it. In case if you want to know a lot of interviews you are attending and there is nothing is coming out, then the assessment is another source for you to gauge your current level of your knowledge level, where you are standing. I think when you just do these three sources of the inputs, what you have it in your hand, you will have a clarity of what would be your next step. So that will be the deciding factor. If still, if you don't have a clarity, you still somebody needs the help, come to our portal, and we do have a career advisor who is dedicated to talk to you, to give you the path for you. Hope that just helps for you guys. Thank you, Darshan, and thanks for being with us. Indeed, it is a pleasure to have you. And hopefully, if many of our community members comes as we were planned, we would like to just take you your guest series for our testing domain part as well. We'll just connect you soon on that.
Sure, sure, sir. Thanks, Manjula, for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you, team, and connect with us anytime. Thank you.